Hey, what's going on?
Not much. How are you?
I'm just hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Anything new?
Nothing much. I mean, same stuff. I've got to submit that extra disability paperwork on before Saturday. I've got a doctor's appointment on the 13th, and I get to meet the new parole officer on Thursday.
Okay. How are you feeling about that?
I don't know. I mean, it's the third time, so it sort of just lost its novelty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How was the other times that you met new parole officers?
It's fine. I mean, it's just the only annoying part about it is that you have to like go through everything else again. You know what I mean? Like explain everything again.
What other things do you have to go through?
Well, it's not that. It's just like I've got to explain. Like the whole disability thing when I applied, when they asked me for extra paperwork, I've got to go through the whole, like, these are the doctors that I've seen, this is the medication that I'm on.
They don't just have like all of that in chart for them to just read.
I would imagine, but I went through this twice, and both times it was the same thing, like, all over again, where I, like, answered the same questions and went through the same sort of routine, so I'd imagine it's probably going to be the same the third time around.
What's the timeline now? So you have to.
85 days. Yeah. See, there's 31 days in the month of March and 31 days in the month of May. So,
How you feeling about that?
that's pretty awesome. I mean, 85 days is like whatever. You know what I mean? Sort of. It's just got to do the same thing 85 more times.
Yeah.
Which is
That's
exciting.
almost quite fast though.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it means that you and I are going to talk like 12 more times, 11 more times, 11, I think.
Okay. Yeah. That's not much at all.
No, it's not that much. So what's going on with those? I got your email, which was awesome. Thank you for that. So do you know when the classes are going to start yet, or no?
I have no idea. To be really honest with you, I'm not even sure if it'll start back up before your parole ends.
Awesome.
I mean, yeah, you like can just dodge that. But I'm not sure. I kind of discussed it the other day with my supervisor. I know the new therapist has been training for it, but I also was told that they're trying to be like careful about how they go about training because those are expensive, and as you've seen, like the turnover here hasn't been the best. So, if I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Well, it sounds exciting. I mean, just let me know, and
Yeah.
not
But I mean,
not much I can do about it. You know what I mean? It's sort of a you
yeah,
thing,
I know
not a
there's
me
not
thing.
much I can do about it. That's why I really wanted to make sure, like, that was actually included in your stipulations. Or, like, if they were going to want you to go elsewhere. Or do you have any idea?
They already gave so basically they have like this law in New York where it's like I guess they passed it a little while ago. It's called 30 for 30. So for every 30 days you go without like an incident, they take like 30 days off of like whatever your parole is supposed to do. So
Yeah.
they sent me a letter a couple weeks ago saying that I got credit for the first 2 months already. So we're good. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. And I talked to the parole officer about it as well too. The one that I currently have, and she's like, it's not anything that you can do about it. You know what I mean? It's just like when it starts, take the classes. Until then, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah. At that point, like, when it starts, you'll probably be, like, towards the end of it and not really be it much longer. So, but yeah, I'll definitely update you. I know that you've been waiting for it. But right now, no updates.
Were you able to get a hold of the new parole officer?
Nope, I still haven't got a hold of them. I hope that they have my email. They haven't contacted me. We had a meeting with, like, Roll the other day, and they were kind of just like, that's a theme with parole officers. But I can reach, like, out to above them. I don't know
Cool. Yeah. I got your. Yeah, and I've got the email that you sent me, so I'll just like print that out and show it to him on Thursday. You know what I mean? So, I mean that, like I said, I mean that's the whole thing with having to go through this for the third time now. It's like I had to explain it to the first parole officer, and then we had to explain it to the second one, and now I'm going to explain the same thing to a third one. So, it's a little silly.
I did contact, and you just haven't got back to me, but I did also send an email with pretty much the same information that I sent you, so they should have enough information, more than enough at this point.
Okay, cool. And do you know how to pronounce that person's last name?
Yeah,
Economy?
economy.
Fantastic.
That's how I was told. Yeah, I have to like write that down to remember. They have to come me up. I think it's a woman actually. I think I would address it as Mr. But
I mean, you guys all have such great names. What's up?
I said you'll find out.
Yes, on Thursday, which will be really exciting. So, yeah.
Do you go down in person or is it like virtual?
I go down there in person, so I don't know. I mean, is what it is, you know.
You have to come out to Brooklyn for that?
It's in the Bronx, so it's like I don't know. It's still not close, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
is
Did
what
you
it
ever
is.
figure out why they moved you to the Bronx?
I have no idea. I mean,
Okay.
like I said, I mean, it's like it's again, it's one of those things where it's like it's nothing I can do about it. You know what I mean? It's just sort of like you got to go here, and it's just like, well, I've only got 85 days left. It's like, what's the point in arguing about anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So have you like adjusted a little bit better to the Bronx or?
Yeah, it's cool. Like I said, I mean, it sort of just looks like Brooklyn before Brooklyn was gentrified. You know, like you know, it's just. There are condos out here, which kind of blew my mind. I mean, I wasn't really expecting that, but you know, it's I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I guess Harlem got gentrified, and it's like once you do Harlem, then I guess you just kind of like what is that like Inwood that's above Harlem? So I guess you would kind of push into Inwood, and then Bronx sort of made sense. I don't know. I mean, you know, yeah. I mean, look at Long Island City. Long Island City was just like that used to just be like it was just like an industrial neighborhood, and now it's just like crazy sky rises, and you know what I mean? Just, I don't know. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, no, definitely. So are you gonna be like not exploring necessarily, but like taking advantage of New York while you have this round moving?
I can't really do much because of my medical condition, so I'm sort of just stuck. You know, it's there's not really much you can do. You know what I mean? It's just like, so I've got the Dodgers appointment on the 13th, which I think is Monday, and we're going to do that virtually, which is great because all the other ones have been sort of in person. So hopefully they'll have scheduled those appointments with specialists. You know, I think like we talked about last time, they had scheduled it, but then somebody else scheduled it, so they both canceled each other out. Which is really awesome. So hopefully they did that. So as soon as I can see like a specialist for my arm and my ankle, as long as the plates aren't loose and the screws aren't loose, then I could start doing physical therapy. But if there's, you know, they think there might be a screw loose in my elbow, and if that's the case, then it's like a whole different story. But
Have they ever gotten loose before?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've had pain, you know, ever since they've been put in. You know what I mean? And it's just sort of like a pain that fluctuates. Like sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's a little. You know, so it's. I don't think that's like something that you would be able to tell. You know what I mean? If like a screw's loose in your arm, it's sort of just you can't see it. You know, it's like a screw in a bone. It's behind skin.
Did they say that getting that procedure done would result in you just feeling pain constantly and always, or?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's that, and you also don't have much of a choice. I mean, if your arm's broken or your ankle's broken, they have to fix it. You know what I mean? So you can like walk again. But yeah, I mean, you know, afterwards you see pain specialists, and they said that there's always going to be pain. It's just like what level of pain, you know, are you going to have? So, and it's one of those things. I mean, the metal and the pins and like the hardware and all that stuff. It's like it's 20 years old. You know what I mean? So it's aged, you know. But I mean, hopefully it's none of that, and I can sort of just do physical therapy, because if it is something that's like loose, or if it's like a plate that's like broken or chipped or something like that, then they have to like open it up, and I've got to go through surgery again. Yeah, surgery is not fun.
Well, have you been able to get your pain meds?
I did, yeah. I was able to pick those up. I actually had forgot about that. I've got to go back on Saturday to pick up more again. So
Did they just give you another 7 days?
they give me another 7 days, and then on Saturday I go back and they give me another 7 days.
Is that what they want you to do? Not going every 7 days?
I have no idea. Like I said, I mean, I offered the first time around to just pay for my pain medication out of pocket, which just seemed a lot easier to me. But they didn't have enough to fill the prescription. So it was kind of funny. And then the lady was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, it's not really an option, is it? Like, either you're going to give me 7 days worth of medication or no medication, because there's not enough to fill the entire prescription. So, you know, I've got that doctor's appointment on Monday, and I think from there we'll just send it to a different CVS pharmacy. I mean, it's New York City, there's 1,000 of them, so I don't know.
Yeah, also can't they just order the right count that you need, and then if I needed wait to pick up instead of just prolonging the 7 days?
I mean, I've never seen or heard anything like it before. You know what I mean? I've never had any. You know, it's like anytime the doctors have prescribed medicine, you go to the pharmacy and you pick up your medication. I've never ever had an issue at the pharmacy. But these last couple of months, the issue was at Bellevue Pharmacy, which was just sort of like for lack of a better term, a bit of a shit show. And then so I was like, well, we'll just go to CVS Pharmacy. It's like an enormous corporation. There's like, are all over the city. But yeah, I've never heard of anything like this before. It's like a doctor gives you a prescription, you go and pick it up. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's weird to be given a prescription, and then every 7 days I have to go back and they give me a portion of that prescription, and then I go back another 7 days and they give me another portion of the prescription. So it's
Is that helpful? I mean, is the CVS far from you?
yeah, it's definitely not close, but it's like what.
Like very big convenience.
Yeah, it's just like, and then once the prescription was like sent over there, it's like, it was sort of just like, it's just at that pharmacy now, you know what I mean? Until, I mean, what are you going to do? You know what I mean?
Because they couldn't see if there's such a different CVS for you.
I mean, 85 more days. It's like, you know.
It's your mindset on everything. I mean, like, it could be a little bit more bearable too if you like pushed a little bit more. Think like if you ask those types of questions.
I just don't. There's like, with only 85 days left, it's just do what you have to do, and then just that's that. You know what I mean? There's no need to get into any sort of like prolonged conversation about why the medication is taking so long, why I've got to, you know what I mean? It's just sort of like, whatever. It's, you know.
Do you usually have that like attitude towards things in general, like it is what it is?
I mean, I guess it depends on the situation. It's just like I said, I mean, with only 85 days left, it's just like, you know, it's like, why? You know, it's just sort of like, do it, and then if it's a problem, just deal with it as a problem. Like, there's no need to create another problem. It's just sort of like, well, this is what it is, and so, you know.
Just accept it as it is,
Yeah, you know, like I said, I mean, I could change insurance companies, but then, like, by the time that I would pick a new one and by the time it would be changed, it wouldn't even matter anymore. You know what I mean? So, is what it is.
Are you like spending any time with like the friends you have out here?
No, I'm sort of just like I said. I mean, it's pain, and I'm finally starting to be able to like treat that pain with the medication that they're giving me. So I sort of just want to rest until I can get to a point where I can start doing physical therapy and sort of kind of get back on my feet from there. And I think after I do all that, it'd be good to see friends. But until then, I think it's just sort of a, you know.
How long is it going to take for you to do physical therapy and like start to feel a little bit better?
I mean, that all sort of depends. I mean, you can't really ever say that you're gonna, you know what I mean? It's just, it's pain. It's like when you see a pain specialist, they go over all of it. You know, it's like the guy told me when I saw him, he's like, look, you'll always be in pain. You'll never not be in pain. It's just how much pain you're in and when you're in and what you can do about it. You know, and he said it'll just vary throughout your life. You know, sometimes you can do physical therapy and it'll help and you'll get better. And sometimes you do physical therapy and it's worse. You know, it's like, there's really no telling with that sort of thing.
Is that something that you're going to start out here, or are you going to start once you?
I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll just have to figure it out. Like I said, I mean, it sort of all hinges on being able to see their specialist, you know? And so I guess I'll find out on Monday. But even when I see this specialist, even if they confirm there's like no screw loose or no plates loose, you know, you figure that's probably going to take what, like about a month, you know, to like go through that process. And then it would probably be about another month for them to like sort out what sort of physical therapy might benefit me. And then so after they sort of like do that initial consultation on what will work for me, the physical therapy might start 2.5 months from now, which means that I would be doing physical therapy for about 2 weeks before I got off parole. You know, it seems like at this point I'll probably just do it when I go back to California. You know what I mean? It just seems like that would be the better way to go about doing it. I mean, if you just think about it in terms of like a logical time frame of like, you know, especially with
That's like a long-term thing, probably.
yeah, I mean, it depends. So you can do short term and you can do long term, and then it sort of just depends on if it like helps you or if it hurts you. I mean, you can do physical therapy and it hurts, which is really, really shitty.
Has that happened to you?
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Your body's not ready, or you like, you know, try to push it too much or whatever it is. It's just.
Then you have to stop.
Yeah, usually when that sort of thing happens, you stop, or they'll try to like, you know, lessen your routine. You know, like say if you're going like once a week for like an hour or something like that, they might scale it back to like a half hour, or they might just like kind of tone down the, you know, exercises that you have to do. Usually you go in and they do like sort of like they put these basically like electrodes on your back to like loosen your muscles up. And they do sort of like some sort of like heat therapy to like get you limber, and then you do, you know, your various exercises. It's not fun and it always hurts. It's just whether you gain mobility from it. You know what I mean?
Have you noticed a difference from doing physical therapy?
Well, I mean, the first time I did it, I couldn't walk, and when I was done, I could walk again. So that was probably the most noticeable difference. Learning how to walk again was pretty miserable.
How long did that take you?
Probably a little over a year. You know, it's like, it's a really weird feeling. I mean, you just kind of used to walking and then you can't walk. So, you know. But
How was your mental health back then?
I don't know. Fine. It's always been pretty fine. You know, it's just sort of like, I don't know. I mean, tons of people go through what I went through. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't think it's like a unique situation. You know what I mean? That's why they have physical therapy.
It doesn't necessarily need to be like unique or common. It's just like how it affects you.
Yeah. I mean, you just appreciate things a little more once you're able to learn how to walk again. You know what I mean? You're just like, wow, I'm really glad I can walk. This is pretty awesome. I had cast all up my left side of my body, so I only was able to use my right arm and my right leg. and it's kind of hard to steer a wheelchair with one arm. Let alone do like basic things like taking a shower with one leg and one arm. Really.
How long were you like that for? Like a year?
Like a year or two, I guess. You know, for quite a while. But yeah, I
Did
mean,
you have someone helping you?
yeah, of course, friends and family and stuff like that. So, I don't know. What are you gonna do about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, at least you have a support system to like help you out through it.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. I mean, I guess other than that, the clocks change on Saturday, I think.
Yeah.
Which is kind of awesome. And then it's summer in a couple weeks, or spring. Sorry.
That would be nice.
Yeah. It'd be great.
Better.
Yeah.
Alright.
These winters where they like don't snow are just sort of like boring.
Really strange. Yeah, they're boring. They're really strange. I don't really understand what this past winter was. I honestly kind of feel like it's still gonna snow, but
Yeah. It was just weird. It's like, and it wasn't really. It was weird. It was never really warm, and it was never really cold.
yeah,
It was just sort of like that weird gray area. But
it's very rainy and very windy.
yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't know if we talked about this, but when I moved from San Francisco to New York, they had the longest rainfall in San Francisco. I think it had rained for 6 months straight when I moved here, which was just like, I don't know if you've ever seen rain for 6 months straight, but it's such an odd feeling.
Really, I bet that's a long time.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, I guess the only place where it like rains more is like Portland and Seattle. I think Seattle more so than Portland. Like, I've been to Seattle a couple times, and like, the first time we went there, it was like really nice out. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. It's like not like everybody always says it's like really dreary and it's gonna rain all the time, and it was like really bright and pretty. And then the guy was like one of like the guys we were with was like, just wait a couple days, and then sure enough, like 3 days later, it was just like torrential downpour, and it went on for like the rest of the time we were there for like 10 days of just like sheets of rain.
I would not like that.
It was really crazy. But people love living there, you know. It's a cool city. It's just the rain's a little.
Like a downer.
Yeah. It's especially like in San Francisco when it rained for those 6 months. I mean, it would like rain and then you'd sort of get that weird like foggy drizzle rain. But in Seattle, it was just like torrential downpour.
Would you ever consider living in Seattle?
Seattle was cool. I guess I know a few people there. I don't think I'd live there because of the rain. You know what's really cool though is past Seattle is Vancouver, where I got to spend a little time as well too. Vancouver's pretty cool. Like, it's a really pretty city. The Canadians are awesome too. They're like the nicest people in the world. It's so, oh my god, they're so nice. It's like, it's so wild. But we spent some time in Vancouver, and then I guess it's been a while now. A couple years ago, we went out there. We went helicopter snowboarding.
Helicopter snowboarding.
Yeah. So it was fun.
Sounds fun. I don't know what that looks like, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a good time, but you know.
Is it like using a helicopter to get really high than snowboarding, or?
This particular place that we went, they fly the helicopter into the you fly the helicopter into the resort, and then they have these, they're called snowcats, and the snowcats take you around to all like the essential like trails or whatever they're called. It's called Baldface. It's very famous. There's like I think the waiting list to go there is like a couple years, 3 or 4 years or something like that. Yeah. Our friend had gotten married and then got divorced at the same time. So it was, I think, supposed to be a bachelor party, but ended up being a divorce party, I guess. I don't really know. But yeah, one of the guys we were with got buried in an avalanche while we were there. But he lived. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay, well, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we finish today?
No, that's about it. We're gonna do the same thing, same time next week.
Next Tuesday, yeah, at 1:30, 1:14.
All right, sounds perfect. I will talk to you then.
Have a good week.
Same to you. Thank you. Bye. Mm-hmm.